Yo, when we start this first, though, we got to throw this X up for real.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah,
that's home, yo.
We represent.
This
That's
is
the
crazy.
brand.
Listen,
That's what we represent.
listen.
Hey,
This is a
that was one thing, Carl, I loved about you. Every time I watched you play in college,
every
I
time.
seen you hit a three and you put it
Yep.
up. And I swear, every fucking time I got a chance to hit a three in a game when I was in college, I said, yo. And now, if you do something like that, they say we hating. Oh, you biting on this person, you trying to be like that person. In our era, we was paying respect to the person that we seen do it.
Right.
You know, and you did it. Like every time you hit a three, it was an L or something. He turned to the camera and he did it.
Appreciate you, man. Humbly.
That was something that when I hear your name, that's the first thing that always comes to my mind. It's like, yo, he put the X up. Like he put the X up. When a lot of dudes acting like they were scared to do it.
Yo, you know what, bro? Like
for sure.
And every time I see, and no diss to him, but every time I see something from the Cowboys, throw up his X joint, but he used to throw the X joint. I'm like, what is that? No, that's not the same thing. What are we doing?
Him and D'Angelo Hall from Kansas City Chiefs. Like, what y'all doing? I knew y'all was sneaking and peeping. Factor the paper.
Right.
You know, Gatorade makes the X Factor Gatorade.
Right.
They don't have an X Factor Gatorade. Now you did an X Factor. I said, y'all people crazy. Now, Fat Joe, lean back. Oh,
lean back. Yeah. That was you,
this
yo.
Shit is bananas.
Right.
That was you. Because I'm showing love to the X and everybody that rock with me and got love for the X, but at the same time, Magic's world contributes like the whole globe. It's the whole globe, so there's no barrier but the language barrier.
Hey, you gotta stop talking because you gotta get this on film. You gotta get this on film. You can't say that now. Are we on?
I got you.
People need to hear that shit.
But listen, yo, let me introduce y'all real quick. So this is a treat for me because I was just talking to LeShawn, talking to Carl a couple weeks ago about this. I've been knowing y'all from kids, like little, like dudes talk about day one dudes. Like I remember me and Black used to take the 19 bus together to go uptown to go to Soundview. Like kids. You know what I'm saying? I got Carl Krauser, former Pitt point guard. All right, Carl, listen, bro. Like this is crazy because I had to go doing this. I'm like, let me do my research on my G's, right? Like you know people, but then like let me really find research to really know them, right? So my man X was honorable mention All-American your sophomore year. Crazy. That means you're one of the best players in the country. Honorable mention All-American. Your junior year, my man Carl, the John Wooden Award winner. Plus, he was a Naismith All-American Award winner and a Bob Cousy Award finalist. My God, please.
100%. Thank you so much.
That's tough, yo.
And then in addition to all that, my man got a bunch of NCAA tournament bids, a bunch of Big East tournament bids. Y'all got how many? 2 Big East tournament chips?
2 Big East tournament chips, 3 Big East outright tournament championships, and we have 4 tournament NCAA tournament appearances all my 4 years.
Bro, that's unreal.
83% of collegiate games.
Man, that's tough, man.
That's unreal. It's just an honor to know you. It's just a be honored to have you as a brother. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much, man. I humbly appreciate both of you, man. Thank you for the love, man. It's always about that and seeing all of us come together, coming up and knowing each other for young kids and making this progress, man. It's such a beautiful thing, man. I'm honored to be here.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that. And then it's crazy because I got my man right here who, me and him, we just talking, elementary school. We came up. My man LeShawn, and it's crazy because I had to look at the stats. I'm like, this is my guy? My man LeShawn, so he went to JUCO. In 2 years in JUCO, my man put up over 1,200 points. Over 1,200 points in 2 years, dog. Player of the year of his conference the first year. The last year, you led them to a championship, 24-6. So what's amazing about those individual accomplishments to me is you not only put up crazy stats, but you won. Like how many dudes you know? Like, I was averaging. Like that's what you say when we came up.
That's the X, man.
And then your next question to them is, yo, did y'all win? Like, what was y'all record? We went 500. We won this. My man went 24-6, and they won the champion. They won the chip, but they lead. It's crazy.
But that was the thing that we were just talking about though before we got on was that where we from, we just don't fail.
Mm.
Like, failing is just not something that we cool with. Like,
right.
you know, Jay-Z he not from the Bronx, but his quote I always keep with me is, he said, "Put me anywhere on the earth, I'll triple my worth."
Right.
And that's pretty much how New York people are built, is that we just decide this, like, all right, this not gonna fail for me. You know, back up against the wall, or we're not gonna fail. Like, we grew up in a competitive environment in everything. Like you just said, Carl, yo, it wasn't no New York versus Philly, DC. This we wanted to be better than each other.
Right.
Like we was each other's measuring stick. Like, all right, I'm going to play in citywide today against this person.
Yep.
I'm going at him from the door.
Exactly.
We didn't care about ratings.
So
you could have been the best dude in this and that. Like that's how it was.
Right.
We did it like Coach Cal was sitting in the stands and he wasn't there.
Right.
But we was at each other, and so when I got to college, that was my mindset. Was like the first thing he said to me, because I actually went to his JUCO, and I remember him calling me and was like, I was like, dude, I'm going down south. You know, I'm like, I talked to St. John's, I talked to Fordham, I talked to Jarvis. They telling me I got to do a year JUCO, I qualified, go down south. And he like, dude, you could just come here and just get buckets. That was the first thing he said. You can just come here and just kill.
Yep.
And I'm like, you serious? And he like, yo, I'm serious. And I just went in there with the door. He was like, yo, shoot that bitch every time and just kill everybody. And I went in there, and it was almost like a movie type prison mentality. Like when I got through the door, it was like first open gym. It's like, everybody, y'all gonna know this my gym.
Right.
For the next 2 years, this my gym, this my team. And anybody that wanted to deal with it, I'm from New York. This is how we get down, and that's pretty much what it was.
Yo, listen,
you know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like
that mentality is crazy. And Carl, let me ask you this, right? So you play in the Big East, and what I consider the real Big East, right?
Yeah.
And this is no diss to nobody that's coming out of the Big East today.
100%.
But I always try to tell people, when they destructed the Big East, that not only messed up college basketball, but it messed up that camaraderie in the metro area. Give me your thoughts of that, just with the whole situation of how they flipped up the Big East.
It was so disrespectful, man, because this is what people used to look for. This is the closest thing you had to the NBA.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody comes, and then at the same time, you got the chance to play in the Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Not the all basketball. You know what? It feels crazy to be able to walk in there for shoot around. Nobody's in there. You looking at Willis Reed and Wolf Frazier, these different people's jerseys and the Raptors, and you looking at different things, you feeling a whole different type of vibe and energy because you're a New Yorker.
Right.
They say you go to a city deep with our feet because we feel the concrete. So you understand what we're doing? Like, like it's just like our vibe, 10 toes, 2 feet. We go at everybody, like my man said. So to make it from Bronxdale, to make it from Patterson, to make it from the Bronx anywhere, where we have battles every day, individually with the demons in the darkness. And then we get a chance to play in the real Big East. We watch Ray Allen, Allen Iverson, Washington, Magic Johnson. Not Magic Johnson, my man Batumbo. That's how I meant to say Batumbo.
Ewing, like,
you know what I'm saying? Tim Thomas, Kerry Kittles, Ed Pickett. So those guys, they were like some of my favorites. Ron Artest and those guys were crazy back then. And I couldn't wait for my time to play in the Garden. So when I said the Big East was closest to the NBA, it was because it was so physical. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the history of the Big East was having John Thompson, Mr. Thompson, and the rest of the guys put that together.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They put that together individually. And to see them dismantle that, man, because when you watch these Big East history things from the last, 50 years and stuff like that, those memories live with people. You created memories in your head when you stepped on that court in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
So for me, to stand there and play against UConn and stand in the middle of the circle of the Garden and throw up the X and see the whole Garden stand up.
Everyone chills down my chills.
Hell yeah, man.
Like I was Jay-Z selling out the Garden rapping. I was bugging.
Right.
Like I was pounding on the court. This is my house. This is my city. Like I mean that. Like I love it because y'all my family. So I was hoping that y'all seen it, everybody else connected with me seen it, and understand what I was representing.
Oh man, every three I hit in college, I had to throw up the X. It was respect to you, and it was respect to where we was from. It was total. It was like, yo, we was a movement. It was like you said, yo, the Big East tournament was something that you had to see.
Yep.
And it's like, when you look now, it's the same thing over and over. SEC is good. ACC is good.
Yep.
They haven't taken a back seat, you know. And now Big East is not the same anymore. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Because it not only did it.
Hold on one second. Let me get that Big East out, though, because that Big East was so special, man. They don't understand. The Big East was so crazy. They created the coaches versus cancer to play in Madison Square Garden. Because they knew that would be a spot where you could generate a lot of revenue. Because there was stars like Spike Lee, Jay-Z, and the rest of these guys. That's their home. They're coming into there and they're inviting other people to these big games. So people wanted to be a part of those big games. Opera singers, rappers, movie stars, they were all there. I'm looking at them like, wow, so you got to understand, people from the Locks and people from everywhere else, they're watching us play on ESPN. It's not ESPN 52, no, it's ESPN 1, the spot joint. You know what I mean? The SK, you know what I mean? The Deportes, ¿qué pasó? You know, we on it. So that's it connected these people internationally. Having y'all making the Chinese national team throw this up for me is bananas. Because they watch it in the Big East. Having coaches come from other countries and coming in there and talking to me after, they watched it on the Big East. They said it. Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, other places, Mexico, other places, Germany. They come in to watch the Big East. So I just want to say that Big East brand, it was so huge and beneficial to a lot of people, and it changed our lives, man. So thank you, Mr. Thompson, and the rest of you guys, Mr. Boeheim, for making and creating the Big East, because playing in Madison Square Garden where stars are born, it was super special, man. It was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. And what's funny is people probably know you more for doing this because you made it behind you. Like, people saw that as like a culture statement. Like, it was a symbol for culture. It was a symbol for the Bronx. It was
people doing it that didn't even know what they were doing, why they were doing it.
Right. Like, you looked at that, like that was more than just throwing an X up. It was like, yo, I'm talking to you, the kid that come from the projects, the kid that come from a single parent home. You could be here. This is because I'm here. Like, that's what it meant to me. And I threw it up when I played. That's what it meant to me. Now, you, LeShawn, didn't you play in the Garden for one game at St. Francis?
We played in the Carrier Dome.
Oh, okay.
We got clipped in Coaches vs. Kansas, the game to go to the Garden.
Right.
And speaking of the Big East, I've played in the Carrier Dome, and I've played at Georgetown with it. Well, in the Verizon Center. The Carrier Dome is something different. One thing I can tell you about the Carrier Dome is that, and you've seen it for 4 years, Carl, that's a different feeling. When you get off that bus at that loading dock, and you got to go in this little bubble for them to open the door, and then they got to close the next door, and then you walk down this hallway, and when you look up, you just see this big ass building, and then in the background, you got all of these like their locker room. You can see everything. It's a different feeling in the building. The air in the building is different. Everything about it. And then to literally stand on the court for a shoot around, and you're literally in the end zone of their football field. It's not even the whole stadium. It's the end zone, bro. Like, you're not even at it. But what's the craziest part is when you shooting around an hour and a half before the game, and it's not that many people in there but them crazy-ass Syracuse fans screaming and yelling at you, and you go in that locker room and hear that pregame speech and come back out 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, and there's 30,000 people in there screaming, that's a different feel. Like, you can't put that into words of just what's going through your mind, other than it's go time.
Right.
Everybody's here, it's go time.
And you know you're going up against a storied school like Syracuse. So
school.
But Carl, who would you say your toughest guard was in your time at Pitt that you had to play against? Because you came up there as some tough guard.
One of the most annoying, man, on the low was McNamara. Like, not toughest, but annoying. Because he doesn't stop moving, the dude. And he has like a super green light. Like the super green light, like him and Chris Thomas. They have super green light. Like, there's nobody besides Quincy Doobie when he came later. The super green light in the Big East besides them and Ricky Steele from Rutgers University. I'm talking about certified bucket getters 6-foot jackers. Yo, you gotta chase these dudes. If you shoot the ball, Syracuse, and McNamara, and yo, Bayham, I heard Bayham chew people out, curse them out. I mean, yo, one dude was on the tour, tears came out of his eyes. I looked at him on the bench. I was like, look, you should have transferred. Because your man, when Josh Payson look at the ball, swing that thing, and McNamara's putting it up. Doesn't matter.
From anywhere.
You get, and bro, you getting hit. You getting hit.
Screens.
Them down screens and them pin downs. You getting
in the knees and your thighs.
Because you're not hearing. And you gotta anticipate. You gotta anticipate it because you're not gonna hear him call it out because you got 30,000 people screaming and yelling in here.
Man.
So you're not hearing that scream. You're not hearing screen coming. By the time you heard it, you done got your melon knocked off.
Sometimes
you know
I
what I
got
mean?
hit, kid, and I'm like, there's no stopping, like you said, Al. There's no stopping. So I got hit a couple of times. I still got to trail up that screen the right way, get on that right side. So I knew to trail the screen. I knew how to trail the screen other way. So I didn't need the screen to be called out because I knew the play.
Right,
so that was part of being the PG. I knew the play. I had the play get called out. You already know. I told you 97% of shots from McNamara. Same thing, Chris Thomas. We know 90% of shots for him.
Right.
So he's coming off a pick and roll, left or right, or is it fast sprint up screen. We know down UConn, you got your man Talik Brown running at your full speed. It's a transition. Then go and coming off a double screen somewhere, you get hit again. Like, so you got to trail and get on the outside, inside, whatever you got to do. But at the same time, those guys, I think, were like super like confident. I'm gonna say that, and the confident ones are the people that really annoy you sometimes because they don't care how many times they miss.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy about you? Do you hear what he just said though? You just gave off your schedule in the Big East. Every night it was a different dude.
Yeah.
It's not like that now.
No.
Now you got Butler tonight, but you got some cupcake team the next night.
Yep.
It's not like that. Yo, he just said I had to guard Talik. Yep. And then on Thursday. But I gotta guard McNamara on Saturday.
Right.
And then I gotta get ready for Big Monday because I gotta guard somebody else. Like that goes back to what we said about the Big East. It's not the same. But I also think that the knockdown of the Big East also it hurt New York City basketball.
Yep.
The Big East dismantling it stopped us from staying home. Yeah. It stopped the New York in this era. It stopped these kids from staying home.
Yep.
Before you wanted to play in the Big East. You wanted to play at St. John's. You wanted to play at UConn. You wanted to play at Pitt. You wanted to play at Seton Hall. You wanted to play at Georgetown. You wanted to stay close to home because the Garden was where it was going to end at the end of the year.
Right.
And now when you got Butler and you got all these other schools,
Indiana,
that's not Big East schools, a kid's looking at it like shit. The Big East not the same anymore. So yeah, you still get to the Garden, but it was like it's not the same. So now the New York kids are like, shit, if I'm gonna go to Butler to play in the Big East, I might as well go to Kansas. I might as well go to Marquette. It changed the dynamics, you know. I mean, yeah, UConn still stayed who they was, you know, Syracuse did, but it's still not the same because the New York kids now have realized, and just the tri-state area kids have realized it's like, I can just go anywhere. I don't have to go to Syracuse. I can just go anywhere. Like when they dismantled the Big East, they dismantled the tradition of New York kids picking Big East schools.
And bro, I'm glad
now we got New York kids going all over.
I'm glad you said that. So this segues me. So like us growing up, like when people would ask us, because we were talking about this a little bit ago, like our dreams was I'm going to school, I'm going to the NBA. And all the schools that we had in mind, if they weren't North Carolina and Duke, it was a Big East school. Right? So just real quick, Carl, like talk to me quickly just about like your pathway, like coming up through the Bronx. Like how to get to where you know what I mean, through Pittsburgh and everything else.
I was playing with Doc. We was playing with Doc at the time, and Doc was helping me get like trying to find a school. You know, I was trying to find a school. I had a couple people like Shannon too, and Shannon McKenna. He was trying to help me get to Kilgore. And I was like, that's the junior college out of Texas. I was like, I'm not trying to go there. And then he was talking about NAIA schools. I'm not trying to go there. So, playing for Doc and shopping this AAU thing out, Slice and the rest of these guys and these coaches start coming out of nowhere from me playing AAU and just thrashing all these big names and going through just getting buckets and buckets and wins and winning tournaments and breaking records. So after we played in Scranton, PA, I think it was, I broke like 12 records in a row. Khalil Al-Amin's records, all the Khalil Al-Amin's records. He played at UConn, number 42 point guard. Played Chicago Bulls as well. I went out there and they imported 4 Purdue All-Americans that went to Purdue. And I thrashed them. It was the first time I got MVP in a tournament and we lost. You get what I'm saying? So all of these schools heard about that and my stock of stuff just went crazy. And then I got a chance to play in Adidas Big Time Tournament with Doc. Went out there, made all tournament, first team, killed them, broke their 6th record out there game. And then it got crazy because now I'm playing against Mike Dunleavy and Deshaun Stevenson. I'm killing Mo Williams and I'm killing your man Chris Duhon from Duke. I'm out here. I could have dunked on Jonathan Bender, but I jellied him before the jelly came. You know what I mean?
Yo, you know what I appreciate about your story though. Me and you talked about this last week, and we were just talking about this. And this is This is my man. I love him. Dre Barrett, K-Sat, Kev Bell. Those were the top point guards coming up during our era, right? But Carl came under the radar. Like a lot of people, like if you was from the city, they knew you. But like Dre had all the accolades, and K-Sat had all the accolades. Kev Bell. But my man Carl was just silently doing his thing, and all of a sudden, I'm like, yo, my man Carl's at Pitt? That's crazy, because those were the top echelon point guards coming out of the city during our time.
Omar Cook, too.
OC, that's right. OC, yeah.
I played with Dre and the joint and the Ravens, with the Ravens. You know what I mean? Like, people don't know. Pete Mully was on the team, and we played against Eddie Griffin. I don't remember if y'all know, God bless his dad, Eddie Griffin.
Yeah, God bless his dad, Eddie Griffin,
Marcus Toniel. So we played in that, not Rum One, I think it was Rum One the Bronx tournament in Fordham. Jamal Wagner and all them came. Remember that? Yo, I was coming off the bench, kid. Artie Gray put me on the bench because he didn't want me to shine more than Dre. So 26s, 25s, I'm getting 20,000, I'm getting duh. Like, yo, stop trying to play me. Like, Artie used to leave me from tournaments on purpose, and I'll go play with Dave Nelson or Big D. You feel me? So this is the things they used to do to me in the Bay. So as you say, I came up, hey, fam, I used to play at UDC. They called me 50+. Never had under 50 points in the game.
It's crazy.
Like, it was crazy. Like, people didn't, and I'm killing everybody. I played against Riverside and all that. Your man, Cal Cuff and them, I'm on them. Like, on them. You searched them, dunked on the man, one I broke my elbow. And when I got to Pitt, I got surgery. So I've been playing with a broken elbow since you knew me, like since 16, 17 years old.
Crazy.
And I broke 4 bones in my elbow, so I didn't get it fixed until I got to Pitt my freshman year. So that's what I'm saying. People didn't understand what I was doing. I'm telling y'all, and coming back with a broken elbow. You get that? Like, it's different. The mental of being hurt every day. Every time I move my arm, it hurts. I don't show it though. I don't have money in medical joint. I don't have none of that. So I got to deal with the pain. You get what I'm saying? So people was trying to front of me, so I took their respect, killing them. Kev Morrison, them in the Pathmark tournament, and the rest of them. I killed the top players because I had to wait till the summertime to see you, and then I'm going to shut you up and let you know. It's no disrespect, but it's just a the fact that it happened. You get what I'm saying? Like, and why everybody's trying to poop on me because I ain't have nobody else, you know what I mean? Like, somebody backing me and this and that, and I can't straight Project Ball with it. Y'all was like, some people was like, yo, it's too much. Oh, it's this. He's too aggressive. Chill. Because if they would have did that, it was cool. When they did that, and Majestic and them did that, it was cool. But when I come through Violate, it's different because I went to Stevenson.
Yep, right, exactly. And what's crazy is when me and LeShawn was talking about it, because we were talking about that competition. Competition for us started in middle school. And how I met LeShawn, like I knew him since a kid, but how I met him, everybody would say, yo, he's the best player in the city. Like, real talk. Like, in 7th and 8th grade, everybody was talking about LeShawn Hammett. LeShawn, just talk about your path, just coming through. Like, I know just tell everybody.
I kind of, it's the same thing like Carl. Like, it was more or less like, I felt like I had something to prove. You know, 6th grade, you hearing Dre Barrett's the best 6th grader in the city. And I'm like, I heard of him because one of my mans was living up in like Monroe Projects or something like that. So I knew who he was. I was already playing with Gaucho, so I knew who he was. I had nothing but respect for him. So for me, it was more or less like, okay, if he's the best, let me figure out a way for me to be the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't know nothing about no Hoop Scoop magazine and this and that. So now I'm at this point, like, okay, one of my mans named D Jones. You know D Jones. Dana Jones started telling me like, yo, you got to start killing this. You got to get a Hoop Scoop. You got to do this and got to do that. So I'm like, all right, cool. 6th grade come. I'm like, all right, I got to show out now. I get on the team, start getting buckets. I'm killing everybody. We go play in a tournament in Mount St. Michael's. I put up 57 points.
Yeah,
and then everything changed for me. It was like, now I'm starting to hear from prep schools. Now they trying to get me to go to Mount Carmel. Now they trying to get me to go. They was trying to get me to go to Mount Carmel because that was where KB was. You know, Kevin Bell. That was where. And these were all guys that I was. Now I'm with Riverside now. Now I'm playing with these dudes. But I'm like, nah, I'm not leaving. And I don't want to say I regret it, but it was like, in my mind, it was like, why am I leaving? If I'm this good and I'm doing this in my neighborhood, fuck it, I'm going to stay in my junior high school. Right. I'm going to stay here and I'm just going to hoop here because this is how I got my name. And every time, like you said, every time I get a chance to match up, I'm going to do what I got to do. You know what I mean? But it was true. Dre was there. You know, Jess was there. Like, those dudes in my mind, you know, now if I had to do it for my son, I'd be like, yo, ass going to Mount Carmel. Because you got to get in that circle to get where you want to go. Right. And that's pretty much what happened when it was time to go to high school. That's what happened. Jess and KB and them, they was older. They was, you know, a year or two older. So it was like, okay, cool. Jess at the Rays. He hit, you know, KB and K-Sat and them, they down at Rice. So it's like, all right, cool, I gotta figure it. I ain't think about it in the lane like you, Carl, where it was like, man, I'm just gonna go here and I'm just gonna eat. I'm gonna do this. I'm listening to all the people in the neighborhood just keep saying, like, do it this way. You gotta go there, you gotta follow this track, you gotta do that. And Eric Harris is one of the biggest dudes in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? He played at St. Ray's, he went to Minnesota. He had a hell of a career. So he's like, yo, this is the move that you need to make. You need to go here. So I went there, I tried it. It wasn't for me. And then I just went to prep school. And I went to Longburg down in North Carolina. But when I got down there,
Graham went there. You know, Justice?
I was there with Courtney Fields. I was there with Julius Allen. And I know you know Jules. Courtney was there bugging out when we was there. And he was enough. Still to this day, man, he was different at 6'6", 6'7". The shit that he was doing, and what was crazy was when we was at Riverside, you would see it, but when we got down there, it was different. It was like, yo, this dude, like it's nothing he can't do. Like he was the first 6'6" point guard I had ever seen. Yeah. Like I got moved to the side. Like, yo, you like to get buckets, move your ass to the wing. He gonna put the ball in his hand, and Courtney was like, okay. And any other time, Carl, I would have been like, nah, fuck that. I want to be the point guard. But he was like, nah. He's Carl,
I used to hate playing against him at AAU in the middle school because this is what LeShawn would do, bro. LeShawn would be on the wing. He knew how to play passing lanes. He was an excellent passing lane guy. So he would play passing lanes, go for steals. Somebody put up a dumb shot or turn the ball over. Guess who's already out?
Taking off. I was out. I was out. I would catch that.
That's all he did.
Do one dribble. That was it.
That's it. Make it easy. That's what we're trying to do. Make the game easy.
Right.
You think you learn. I used to do that sometimes too.
And it was like, but it was like, I learned that from the old heads playing in the park. It was like, when we get this fucking rebound, your little ass gotta take off, and I'm gonna give you the ball, and you just finish this bitch. It was that and spot up and shoot. So for me, when I got the prep, I kind of like, once I got the prep, it was like, all right, cool. I'm with it. I felt comfortable because at Longburg, I was with dudes I knew. It was dudes that I either played with in Riverside or was older than me, and I seen them at the church. And I went down there because Bingo was like, hey, this the move. You know, Bingo didn't want me to go to St. Ray. He was like, don't go here. But I didn't want to go to Rice. And at the time, Cardinal Hayes was the only other option. And at that time, we didn't look at Hayes as a basketball school. We looked at it as a football school. So I was like, I'm not going to Hayes. That's just dead end. And then I went to prep school, and I started killing. I did my thing. And we was down there. What was the blessing was one of the Riverside coaches was the coach. So I knew I was going to be taken care of. Coach Mike McAway was there. And after prep, I wound up getting my daughter's mother pregnant. So it was like, okay, do I still go to college? I got a couple of offers. I got a couple of D2s. I got some low D1s. Do I want to go to college? But I had a kid, so it's like I got to take care of my responsibility. Yeah. So for 18 months, I gave up the game to just stack enough money so I could take care of my daughter. And then I go, and Glover take me to St. John's one day. I'm in St. John's. And Glover's from, I want to say, he's from the Bronx, but he's from uptown. He's from River. I think he's from Bronx River. But he was dating his wife, who's now his wife. She's from Patterson, so Glover was always in Patterson. And Bingo was living in Patterson, so he was always in Patterson. Yeah. So Glover was kind of, and shout out to him, man. He really opened my eyes. So Glover, Glover takes me out to his senior year. He takes me out to St. John's. They having workouts in the summertime. So Elijah Ingram is there. And at this time, he's the number one, he's best point guard in the country, all this other stuff. He was McDonald's All-American, whatever. So we just all playing. And I just give him work. I'm killing this dude. I'm going at him. You know how we get down. You from Jersey, I'm from New York. I don't know you. You know me because of the fact that I know you because of the fact of who you are, but you don't know me. But when we leave this gym today, you're gonna ask motherfuckers who the fuck I am. And I just went at him. And Mike, I talked to Jarvis. I talked to Thurm was already on the staff. You know, Coach Thurm was there. He was a Riverside guy, and he was like, "Yo, you got to get in school. You got to go somewhere." And then I go and hoop in a showcase, and Bob Hill sees me. He was at Fordham, and at the time he at Fordham. Smush is at Fordham, and so is Adrian. Yeah. So Adrian and Smush is there, and I'm saying to myself, okay, salute to them. Adrian, that's one scoring.
Natural born killer.
So I'm saying to myself at that time, like I just played in the summertime with Adrian, Jermaine Pringle. I'm talking to them like, all right, cool. So I'm like, Adrian from downtown, but Bronx, like he was always in the Bronx. He went to Bronx reason, like he was around. So I'm saying to myself, okay, I got the grades to get into Fordham. I just got to go to JUCO. Adrian is there, and he's a fucking killer. Smush is there, and he's getting buckets. If I go in there with them two, shit, I'm gonna lead the A-10 in assists because all I gotta do is just keep feeding them. So
Big Mike is there. Like, Big Mike there too with you?
Yes. So at that point, I'm like,
what about Big Mike?
At that point, I'm like, okay, I got to go to JUCO now. This is a definite. I got to get into JUCO. And now I'm thinking I'm going to Florida. Bob Hill sets everything up for me to go to school in Tallahassee. I get on the phone with Corey, and Corey like, yo, you need to come to my school. I'm about to graduate. You can get buckets here. I average this a game, but you can come in here and do whatever you want to do. All the major hitters, they leaving, and the ones that's returning, you'll kill these dudes. And I was like, you know what? All right, cool. I'm gonna do that. And I wound up going. The coach never seen me play. No. He just knew. He just went off CO word. And when I got there,
my man here, and I set the tone. I laid the table. I'm bringing my man here. He's gonna be the best player on your team, hands down. When he get here, he's gonna score a lot of points. Just make sure you set the offense up. That was my exit statement.
That was his statement.
That was it.
And when I got there, love to your brother, man, that's fire. Showing love and giving your brother support.
Yo, every time I walk in that building to this day, and I see the banners, I see the championships, the retired number, I think to myself, I wouldn't have ended up here unless CO told me about it. I could have went to Florida and been a regular dude, but I went there, and I could say that. No disrespect, CO, but I might be arguably the GOAT at that school.
You got it. I'm not even that's not a debate. I was good, but I wasn't you. No.
What's crazy was I never forgot the word.
Your jersey retired.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Like it was like I got there and it was everything he said. It's like I just gotta kill everybody. It's a business. I want to go one.
Yeah. Did they retire yours yet?
No, that's not a
What happened?
They ain't gonna do that. They not gonna do that.
Why not?
Man, I'm too straight up and official, man. They not gonna do your mom. Look, when you threaten people's jobs with knowing basketball and the way that you are, being a straight up person, man, it makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When you speak the truth, it makes people uncomfortable. When you show other kids that somebody else is coaching a better way, and you're able to relay the message in a different way, that they're paying attention during the game and you're screaming from the stands, it sends a lot of bells. It rings a lot of bells for a lot of people because they're starting to think, why isn't Carl coaching? Why isn't Carl on the coaching staff? Carl's been here for 6 years, coming and bringing people back.
I was just about to ask you that. Why haven't they brought you back?
It's real. It's like, yo, like for real, fam. I'm a real cool person, but a lot of people that I used to play with bad-mouthed me while they was here coaching or this is not doing stuff, and that trickled down to other people believing whatever story. So when you talk about me to one person, that one person talks about me to other people, and then the same thing because there's multiple people listening. So the only way I'm able to try to clear up my name or stuff that you said that wasn't true is to go on social media and let people know about certain instances. But to answer your question about the Pitt stuff, it's like, yo, for real, there's a lot of people in administration that don't like me, and I understand because I'm not going to bow down. I'm not a kiss ass. I'm not going to let you talk to me any type of way or treat me any type of way. And I put on and perform for you, your university. I generated millions for you and your city and your university. I'm talking about from scholarships to international to regular students. I'm talking about people coming in
to
every
culture.
year because we're winning. They win. I changed the whole culture, the whole thing. They was only losing. And this is when I redshirted, I changed the culture. When they got to the championship and won the Sweet 16, got the Sweet 16. So it was a lot, man, going on. Even me providing a job and getting another coach, another job. Jamie Dixon. They still trash me. Like, I went across the street out my way to get you a job.
Because he was an assistant on that. He was an assistant, right?
Yes, assistant, man. I used to tell him to come lift weights with me when we were freshmen. Come do this. I used to try to help and be cool. Because people used to do him dirty. So it sucks as a human being to know how good of a person you are and how you're going to get trashed by other people for being a straight up person and not letting people do you wrong. If I teach kids how to speak up when people are doing you wrong, why wouldn't I follow the same thing?
Right.
Why? I only tried to help people. I only defended myself. I always had my back against the wall coming from the X. So it was always that. I always had to fight against different people. When I got threatened, I didn't say anything. I kept it to myself. When Coach threatened me to, if I didn't use his agent, he's going to mess up my NBA career, I didn't come out and just say anything. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of stuff. So when I say that, I say there's a lot of people in that pit upstairs in that round table. They look at me funny. And they think because I'm not being a good N-word, it's okay to treat people like that. And you can just trash people. You're supposed to be more gracious. We're supposed to have a brotherhood, a bond. If something happened to me after, playing basketball, I should be able to come back to my university and be like, excuse me, certain things didn't work out. Maybe, maybe can you find something for me here? Maybe can I help out with the team? Maybe can I help with the player development? I've sent these coaches messages. I told them that I was willing to come help. I said stuff in the Instagram DMs. I said mad stuff, but I try. I call these players. I see them in the gym. I try to help them because I want to see my university succeed, even though the things that happen. Because that's what I do. I show love as a king. I'm king.
And I'm obviously biased because you're my brother, but like, to me, you shouldn't have to call them for nothing. For everything you've done for that university. From what I know, from my recollection, you were the best point guard to ever come out of that school. So if someone's coming and they're talking about, we need guard development, we need player development, we got a dude that's one of the greatest players to ever come out of our university, that's still here in the city, why are we not kicking down his door to get him here? Yo, we need you here because we need that same energy, that same culture that you brought when you played with this team. Like, I don't, that's unfathomable to me.
The piggyback off you, though, Corey. The piggyback off you, though, CO, the thing that I don't understand is that, again, the culture you built, Carl, when you were there,
thank you,
presented it created the next 4 years after you left. And me and coaching now, being a coach now, it's like every year the people that leave have to give back something to the program for the next group of kids that's coming in.
Right.
Carl is the best point guard. It's no debate. He's the best point guard that's ever played there. From a points per game talent, from a skill talent to what he's done in the culture.
Right.
As a program, you're supposed to show. How do you show my 15-year-old son that if you come here, you're family for life? Right. If you're not taking care of the family that left,
Thank you.
That's so to me as a father and as a coach, I think that it would be a fucking no-brainer that you bring back the guy that's like, okay, he put us on the map. He early all 2000s. We owe the first 10 years of the 2000s to him. We owe it to him.
Gosh.
He did what he did in the first 4 years, his 4 years, and then the next 4 years, we made it off of his back.
Right.
So for the next 4 years to make it, you got to bring him back. He's playing overseas. Every time you sign a contract, it should be posted on the Penn State on Pitt's website.
Yeah.
It's paying it forward, and they're not doing that. And if they don't do that, they're hurting their brand.
Yeah, I think
everything now that we do is about the brand.
They're constantly using me for the Coach Caton show down on the South Side. They're constantly using me and jerking me around with my tickets. They're constantly using me when a New Yorker from the Bronx, like the young guys came in, Champagne, and those guys, they pops is the island guy, like some of us. And they needed me to talk to them, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was cool to do that. And it was cool to talk to them when Jay-Z and them came to the Pete, to show love. But then when it's not them, now I can't sit in my seats that I've been sitting in for over 15 years because of what? Because of the recruiting? And then now they made up another bull crap before. Oh, it's because of NCAA rules, which was lying because I called the NCAA and checked. They was lying. So again, and they sent people that they supposed to think I knew to come and talk to me and lie to me. I'm sitting there, why are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? Like, you trying to shut me down for no reason, and I'm trying to show love to the Pete and the people and the fans in the school, the university, my Pitt brothers and my sisters. Like, so when you keep showing people, you keep shitting on the star player, the most recognized and known player at the University of Pittsburgh, if you showing that, why do you keep allowing your kids to come here and these different people are still here? Why do you understand? Why don't you understand that I'm talking about these racist cops and these other people trying to mess us up, kill us? These could be your kids. This could be your kid walking down the street. This could be your kid going to the movies at nighttime. This could be a kid getting pulled over somewhere and something else happened on go that way. You think they're going to help you? You think they're going to help? I've been through this. I've been through the cops following me around here, Pittsburgh, 4 blocks in the square. Literally. And then dude getting me a ticket and says, hey, I'm sorry, Mr. Krauser. I got to do. What are you talking about? I got pulled over near the cathedral, and they took me and the girl out the truck, searched the truck for guns. I got a game tomorrow. Why you doing now? You've been doing this when I was playing at Pitt. So after I played at Pitt years, now I'm removed, now you want to look for something and try to lock me up on a Star Watch? And this is the University of Pittsburgh police. This is the city police. This is the transit police. Because of a couple of hater cops, and I'm sitting there. This is what I want kids to understand too. When you do good, and you're worth something, and you're a strong person, always understand that you're gonna have a lot of negative people coming at you and try to put you down and try to kill you and try to make you weak and try to make you follow their way of being. Okay, you always stand strong. Don't let anybody take your smile, and you always believe what your parents taught you because you represent yourself and your family and God every time you walk outside this house. So make sure you make the proper decisions. Make sure you understand what the power decision making is. And then that's called free will. So make sure you really lead and show people that you're supposed to be a good person. Because that's all you have.
Yeah, and that's great advice, man. And it's crazy that your experience from that angle has to be the way that it is today because of, again, like you said, LeShawn, you talk about the contributions. But, like, when we played in college, we also talked about just the level of competition in Big East. And I'm seeing, like, now, like, what's happening now is if a kid go out and have one game and they have 30, now all of a sudden these scouts and this and that, I'm an interview, I got an agent doing next week. And this just gets me into, like, the whole one and done thing. To me personally, and we got a different mindset about this, and I know y'all do because y'all come from where I come from, so I know y'all think the same way I do. But, like, I'm seeing kids that's declaring for the draft, and I'm like, he don't even have a left hand. He don't even have a over the right hand shoulder jump hook. Talk about, I got to talk. What's going on?
Well,
L, you got that one, L? Because it's nasty to me, L. It's nasty out here, L. Well, I'm right after you, L. I'm after you right now.
I'm gonna go first because I think you gonna drive this home worse than I am. But now, I'm not against the one and done rule. I think if we're gonna let these kids go to college, if we're gonna let these kids go to, like, don't prevent them. If you can go to college, if you're gonna say you can go to the pros out of high school, then go. Don't waste anybody's time.
Yeah.
Do I believe that some of these good kids are good enough to go to the pros? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole, we're gonna let you go to the G League for $500,000, then you might as well let them go to the pros. That shit makes no sense.
Right.
Now, I will say this.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I can hear you guys. I'm with you.
All right. I will say this is that I think that the biggest problem is the NCAA, and I don't want to say anything that's gonna make me look messed up. The NCAA just wants to have more control over the situation.
Yeah.
I think that's what it really comes down to.
Right.
The NCAA feels like the one and done had got out of hand and got out of control. Let's keep it real. They lost a lot of money. If Dwight Howard, J.R. Smith, Master Telford, they were the last group to be able to go to the pros. If they would have go to college, that would have been a shitload of money. If you would have told LeBron James he had to go to college, that would have been a shitload of money.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Bryant go to college, shitload of money. Garnett, so on and so forth. So I think the NCAA wants to have control of the money, because I think that's what it really comes down to at the end of the day. The NCAA is a business. They're not anything else other than a business. Now, the one and done thing, I think, is a joke. And it's a joke because these kids, who are we to tell them that they cannot go straight out of high school? At 18 years old, at 17 years old, you can go to work at McDonald's. Yeah. At 18 years old, you can fight in a war. Who are we to tell them to go? Bill Gates dropped out of school. Tiger Woods dropped out of school. Baseball players, they jump in AAA at 16 years old because he throws 90 miles an hour and no one stops it. Yeah. But in the NBA, but when it comes to college basketball, the money making, you can't do it. Football, I get it. An 18-year-old kid going in the NFL is gonna get killed because he's playing against 30-something-year-old grown-ass men that have been doing this shit for 20-something years. But in the NBA, I think that if you're gonna give them an out to spend $500,000, to pay them $500,000 to play in the G League, then drop the one and done rule. Let them go to the league. But I think the difference, now to piggyback off you, bro, Carl, the skill set and how you play the game has changed from when we were growing up. And it's been less than 15, 20 years ago that we just graduated from college. Yeah. If you 6'6", 6'7", I ain't mean to make us feel old, baby, but
you killed me. I just got the
But when you
6'6", I did nothing.
When you 6'6", 6'7", and you got a 40-something inch vertical, and you can handle the ball just a little bit, and you play on the right AAU team, you have the potential to be a pro.
Yeah.
In our era, a 6'6" kid who was freakish athletic, can handle the ball a little bit, is staying in college for 4 years because he has to develop.
Right, exactly.
It's different. It's much respect to John Calipari, much respect to a lot of these coaches. You going to me, if my son has a choice to get $500,000 to go to the G League, be one and done, or go to Kentucky, I think I want my son to go to Kentucky. He's preparing these kids to develop. Yeah. You are doing a 1-year internship with the best guy in the business to get you ready to go to the pros. And it's no disrespect to Duke. My brother's probably gonna watch this and say I'm against Duke, but their players are struggling. The one and dones are struggling.
Yeah.
From a maturity standpoint and a talent standpoint. They struggle when they get to the league. Cal's kids aren't. I also think that every kid nowadays, and I'm speaking from a coach's standpoint right now, every kid thinks they're a pro. Yeah. Every kid that I talk to in the recruiting process tells me he's a pro.
Yeah.
Some of these fucking kids ain't scholarship kids, but you're a pro.
Everybody in their circle is telling them.
Because everybody in their circle is telling them you're a pro. You're a pro, you're a pro, you're a pro. So these kids have it in their mind that they're a pro. He's number 10 on the top 100 list, and he's got Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, this and that. You're a pro.
Yeah.
This kid's he's a pro.
And what's the hardest part about that is how do you coach that kid then? So, and you can speak to this too, right? Like, as a coach, you got a kid coming in, he already got every school in the country recruiting him. Everybody in the circle. He averaged 30 and 15 in high school, playing whatever competition. He knows this is just a pit stop. How are you supposed to coach that kid on how to handle the ball the right way, or how to run an offense, or how to do – talk about that, Carl.
Man, you speak with him, man. You talk to him. You let him know, man, this is real life. You understand what I'm saying? You get his mind right. You know what I mean? It depends what type of relationship you have with the kid, and that determines what message you're going to relate to him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It depends the background of the kid, and that depends the message you're going to relate to him, how you're going to speak to him. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot into that. Like guys that think they're already nice. We've been through that because at one point we thought we was already nice. We thought we got to talk to them in a different way, right? So with that, it's coming to people humble, with a humble, natural, cool respect and love, you know what I mean, and appreciation, showing them that I appreciate what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? But let me show you how to do this way. Let me show you how to do it this way. Let me help you add this to your game. You get what I'm saying? Because I only want you to have more skills and be more qualified and ready for where you're about to go, or where you want to go and where to be at. You know what I mean? Like, these kids need to understand it's about staying low on every dribble. You know, really being decisive, man, understanding, hey, this pass needs to either be this bounce pass to the left or the right, or this pass needs to be this pass, over the head pass, this hook pass, this spin reverse dribble, different things. The point guard needs to know, and different guys need to learn how to talk and be in better shape and be in better condition and talk so you can come back. Hey, one's on the left, one's on the right. I got you, big man, till you get back. You get what I'm saying? So we have to have all of these different intangibles, but you got to be able to teach these kids in that way. But if you're telling the kid, like Bobby Knight told us from the TV, because all we had to do was watch TV, some of us. That's all we had. Bobby Knight said, your voice is the sixth man on the court. Meaning that, yo, you can be out there, help defense, proper sitting low, hands active for the pass, one hand low for the dribble. Hey, one's on the right, ball's coming, watch the double screen in the back. When Ben Gordon used to have the ball against Julius Page, and he used to play UConn, when he's on that, he's at the top, I'm on this, I could be on this left side. I'll be like, help Black Jews, help Black Jews, help Black Jews, help Black Jews. I won't stop, but I'll keep screaming, even if I'm not doing nothing. But him knowing that I'm damn ready with that.
We know what you're doing.
Distracted him.
Now, do you believe that the reason why these kids, do you believe that it's not being taught at the lower levels well enough for these kids?
Yeah, it's like, it sucks. The player development sucks. Everybody's trying to take money off of people. I see dudes that can't coach. I see dudes that are terrible. You buy all of this stuff, they stack the stuff, you do all these kits and gadgets. But
everybody's a trainer.
Right, everybody's 20 trainers, everybody's a player development. But you started, what have you accomplished to do this? You're not qualified, champ. You need to
who have you helped to get somewhere?
Right.
It's about positive progress, the pursuit of happiness. It's about building these memories for these kids to know that you're an official person. I was just talking to a young kid yesterday, man. God bless my man Ray. Hey, man, I was just talking to him about a lot of stuff, and him opening up and telling me how much I helped his life, how much I helped him think. Hey, man, it was crazy. I only thought about being a basketball player, and I was just going to go to high school and just stop. But you encouraged me. You gave me those positive words and encouragement. Now I believe I can get more out of life. I can believe I can actually go to school. I can believe I can actually own a business. I can believe I actually might land in college one day. That hurt me at the same time because it made me feel like, damn, listen how our young brothers feel. Listen how our people feel because of who they have around them. You get what I'm saying? The people that's uplifting them, the people that's spreading this energy, these different type of messages to them. It's sad. So when I see that, it's like, yo, I gotta stay in this kid's life. I gotta help them out. There's another 6'7" kid. He's 6'6". He's a real shooting guard, but he plays big man, so he thinks he's a big man. He's a shooting guard. You get what I'm saying? So I gotta teach you skills because this coach only kept you here. And he dampened your light. He's dampening it. I'm trying to bring your light out. I'm trying to get the most out of you in a positive way. So that's my part of my respect, my journey, player development. That's what I'm on. I want to help kids get better. I want to help kids understand, look, the sky's the limit. That's why I have Magic's World tatted on my tattoo, because it's my world. The whole world is mine. The only barrier is the language barrier, and we can get over that. That's why it's that. You get what I'm saying? So we only want to develop, thank you so much. We only want to develop these kids. We want our name to be spread throughout the communities and Boys and Girls Club. We want to have our own training facilities. We want people to understand when your kid comes over here, just like Doc did, he's safe. She's safe. They're going to be fed. They're going to be treated right. They're going to be educated. They're going to be more. They're going to learn more than what they did before they walked in here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's called. That's positive progress. That's player development. What are the rest of you doing? But they're scared when a person cares and approaches these people. Some of them get a little nervous.
Right.
Some of them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they know you're coming for their jobs. You know you're coming for their neck. But at the same time, there's enough money. There's enough stuff for us all to get it right. But at the same time, do it right. Get it right, but do it right.
Do it right.
Yep. You can be put in a position and you see they're not doing it right. They're just taking advantage. Because it's easy to tell a kid. That's why I started learning about personal training, nutrition. That's why I became a personal training coach out there in Valley Ranch, Texas, around the corner from the Dallas Cowboys practice facility. Literally 10 steps. So I used to train some of their coaches, you know, and then hit them with the knowledge. But you got to keep talking to people. You got to show people you care. I'm asking about his family. I'm asking about his day. I'm asking about his food habits. I'm asking about his injuries. You know what I'm saying? These are the different things. Show people you're more personable, man. It's about being a real person. Not one of the fake people who want to, I talk like this, so I'm going to get this, my message. Get out of here, buddy. Hey, man, we want to help these kids, okay? They're going to see it. They see it. You was a kid, too, so you seen people, and like, oh, man, this guy full of shit. You know what I mean? But then you see this guy's like, yo, when I seen in this kid's eyes yesterday, I was like, yo, he wants to be around me. And that's what you want. People that want to be around you.
To be around you,
Right. Yo, Al, so you at Penn State Wilkes-Barre right now. Last season, I saw, what y'all went, 25-5?
25. We were 25-5, won the national championship. 18-1 in the conference.
You have like what was a 26-game home winning streak or something?
Yeah, we had 26-game home winning streak.
Right. So we're talking about coaching.
Shout out.
Obviously, you're a good coach. You're doing something.
Always, yo.
Crazy players.
How
are you getting your players to buy into your system? How are you getting your players to buy into what you're saying?
Well, so for me, it's more or less, you know, every year we do our team meeting in the beginning of the year. Since I've been there, this is my 5th season. Since I've been there, I've only had one team that we've had a guy average. I had a kid average 23 and 6 and 6, and I had a big man average 18 and 12. Other than that season, every season that we've had, we've probably had 5 or 6 guys averaging double. And I changed the offense just a little bit, but it was more or less trying to get guys to really understand that everybody can eat. You know, I came from coaching at a junior college first where, and you know, me and you have JUCO ties, you know, Corey, where everybody in the room wants to go Division I.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room don't give a fuck about the next guy. They just care about theirs. And I was able to get guys to understand you ain't going Division I if you can't get the nationals. You got to get to the national tournament to go Division I. Yeah. And that's why we was able to get, you know, a bunch of guys. We went to a couple of national tournaments, and that's how we got a bunch of guys to go to Division I. So when I got to Wilkes-Barre, it was more or less like, what do we have here that we can build a culture where kids want to play for us, kids want to be here, but kids will do what we're telling them to do for them to win.
Yeah.
And it goes back to Carl, like we just said, you built the culture. The 2 kids, Colton Lewis and Chris Canteen, were the 2 kids that averaged those numbers. Both of them went and played professionally. So now I got one is Chris played in Brazil. Colton is going on his 3rd season. He played 2 years in Spain and 1 year in Germany. So now the door is open now. It's real. Kids see, okay, I can do this shit. And so now kids come in and they want to know, well, how did they do it? It's like, we're going to give you the blueprint. And what we realized was a lot of nights, those guys had a lot of tough time. We did win a shitload of games with Chris and Colton, but we didn't win the big ones because we weren't deep enough. We weren't talented enough. And so after their 2 years out, because they were transfer kids, we started to get kids to understand it's going to take a team to win. Everybody got to eat. It's going to take 5 to 8 guys every night that's going to have to get it done. And our offense is pretty much a straight up motion offense. I tell kids during the recruiting process, if you're looking to average 20 points a game, and you looking to get 17 shots, you don't come here because this ain't the school. One thing we gonna do is we gonna move that goddamn basketball. And I tell them we don't play no slow down, old school shit. We move the ball, we get up and down. We from New York, so when we go in the park, we want to play like this, and that's how I want to play. The ball come off the rim, rebound outlet. Let's run. Let's finish this bitch, and let's get in this 2-2-1 press, and we gonna press. We going 94 feet on everybody. But what we try to get the guys to understand is, and Carl, we both play professionally. The European game, scouts, agents, and general managers, you play a certain way. You're not getting 17 shots a game overseas. You're gonna get 7 to 10, and you better make them. You don't make them.
Yeah.
Here's your plane ticket, and your ass going home. So what I tried to do, and what I tried to explain to kids is, coming in here, if you want to make it, you got to show your validity is right. It's right. Yeah. That you averaging 15 a game, but you're only taking 8 shots. You're getting to the free throw line. You're moving the ball. So we're moving the ball. There's a lot of screening. We play kind of pro offense with a lot of pro quick hitters, but there's a lot of motion offense. But when kids come through the door, that first team meeting every year is still the same. The one thing I do is I make the kids write a paper. I want you to tell me what's your individual goals, what's your team goals, and where do you see yourself in 5 years. I make every player do that.
Like that.
And because I'm going to hold you to all the bullshit that you say in that thing. Don't write what you think I want to hear. Write what you really feel. I tell guys flat out, it's a 7-month sacrifice. It's a 7-month sacrifice when you come here. I'm asking you to sacrifice your individual goals. I'm asking you to sacrifice your time, and I'm asking you to come in here and work for 7 months for the team. If you can do that for 7 months, we'll worry about you the next 6 or 7 months to help you get where you gotta go. Yeah. And if you don't want to do that, there's the door. Don't waste a year of eligibility. Get the fuck out of here, because winning is always going to be first before anything else.
That's what's
and
up.
We've done it. And the goal is always to try to get all 7 or 8 guys. I probably play 10, 11 guys every night, but 7, 8 guys that have at least a 25-point game throughout the year. So when you get to that national tournament, everybody has put us in a position where they've scored the ball where it could be anybody's night. And my thing is if Carl hot tonight, we riding Carl. But if Carl not hot tonight and it's your night, Corey, then it's you. But this ball gonna move. It's got to be the best shot on every. I tell guys every possession we got to take the best available shot. The Warriors have dominated the NBA, literally playing that way.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? You're going to win championships when you got kids that will buy in to playing for each other. It's the hardest fucking thing to do in this day and age, because everybody wants to be the man, because everybody's worried about uncle and mama and them at the house and what they say. And I let mama and them know, baby boy scored 19, 20 a game in high school, but he's probably going to average 10, 11 a game because this ball going to move. And that's just how it's going to be. Or you got to go.
The overall theme that I got from you and Carl, your tenure at Pitt and what you're doing now at PSU Wilkes-Barre, is just about creating that culture, right? And Carl, you're a culture starter. And what that reminds me of is all of a sudden now we got the last dance with MJ and the Bulls. What's y'all thoughts on that, Carl? I was telling my homeboys, like there's so much stuff that I forgot. You know what I mean? When I watched it, but what's your whole thoughts and process on that?
I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it, man. And I also thought MJ was like, I watched his DVDs. I watched everything on him, man. A lot of stuff on him, man. And I was blessed. I was blessed to be able to see him play like on TV and be in that era, be a part of that era when people in the Bronx, this dude would stop crime, kid. Like, he would stop crime in New York City and different places. The crime went lower when the Bulls were playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? MJ on, kid. MJ on, you bugging. People had MJ playing out their radios and everything on the side. People put out their TVs to the projects. and he watching, connected it with the extension cord. So he was a different type of dude. Nobody's doing that for LeBron and them. I'm just saying, it's all love. Nobody's doing that.
Yo, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Right. MJ is like, yo. Like, I'm seeing him like compete. I'm seeing people say he can't do this. He's skinny. He's that. So when he did everything that they said he couldn't do, this man just kept elevating his game and finding things to make him better. So I can attest to understanding what I had to do to my body and how I had to restructure my brain to become like a cold killer, because I was fighting for something different. I was very hungry every day. I wanted to change my family background. I wanted to be the one to lead. I was one of the first people in my family to graduate from college with a
college. Yes, facts.
You know what I mean? Like, it's different. So I salute to my family, but everybody else, you know, they start doing it. My sister did her thing. My cousins did their thing. So it was real. So with MJ coming out, man, it was like, yo, he's forcing you to become better in practice. He's forcing you. If the best is showing you how to do things correctly, and he's going out there busting his butt in practice, he's winning suicides. He's competing in the suicides. That's what I used to do to Chris Taft, Chevy Troutman, and them at Pitt. I used to race and talk trash to them and talk shit, and I would compete with them. I would be like, yo, you can't beat me here, so we get suicide, the up and backs, the 17. All of that, we'll compete in everything from the agility with the tennis ball. We'll compete with everything. So I understand, like, I won't play mind games with some of the players like Chris Tapp, like, yo, you can't get this double-double before the half, but this is not. So I would do things like that to elevate my players' game when I know they don't have it. So nobody for me was never going to have it for me. I had to have it for me. So times when coach went to kickers out practice, I bring it for me. So I got that from Michael Jordan, that never quit, never stop determination. If we have a minute less in practice, that, yo, we got to practice. If we have a half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, we practice for 4 hours a lot, 3.5 hours. So with that, sometimes I didn't miss shots in 3.5 hours, 4 hours, that ass. I used to have my games on tape. I would go home and get my game on tape because of Michael Jordan, researching the film. I would watch my practices and be like, yo, all right, I did this wrong. I didn't do this right. You know what I mean? Like, I got that crazy and focused because of Michael Jordan, because of Kobe Bryant. If you see a guy like Kobe Bryant learning from Michael Jordan, how are you not going to learn from Michael Jordan? You sound crazy. So I'm sitting in there like, I took from him, like, and like I said, I agree with it, man. Sometimes you're not going to be like that as a superstar. When you're a superstar, everybody don't know what you're going through. When you're a star and you have different decisions to make, you have to, like I said, get the most out of your players, but get them to understand, champ, I'm not really here to be your friend, man. I'm here to get a goal accomplished. I'm here to win championships. I'm here to get us all exposure. Because if we win, if I win, we all win. So MJ is showing these dudes, yo, we all focus and play like this. We all gonna accomplish championships. So when he was going at Jerry Krause and those guys in the front office, it was super insulting because you can see how a lot of white people look at us as black entertainers, and they're not appreciating what we putting our bodies through, what we sacrificing from with our family. You know, we understand it's the few that make it to the NBA, but we're the few that's showing you we out here trying to become champions. I know what it's like to boost an organization to the point where it comes $1 million brand, $1 billion brand. I know what that's like. I did it with Pitt. You get what I'm saying? I know what Mike was going through. You get what I'm saying? So we have a lot of similarities that's crazy. The outspoken, boisterous, I stand strong and firm in what I believe in, 10 toes down, 2 feet with my Lord Jesus Christ, I'm complete. I believe in that. He does too. With the same thing, when he stood up for Scottie Pippen for not getting paid, I stood up for Mark McCarroll, Torrey Morris, and a lot of people, the bands, because a lot of people. So for the same thing, a bunch of people, like, I've got people playing time. I got Mark McCarroll on USA Today on the cover. I got different people on that. I show people. I brought people to the Broncos, so I understand. But at the same time, I didn't hang out with those guys because I didn't want them getting into my stuff. So at the same time, when Michael Jordan didn't bring them to the gambling and hang out with Steve Kerr and those guys, it took a little personal. They acting little women. Like, chill. You don't have to see my nails, my purse. Get out of here. What's going on? Like, come on, you know? So it's like, yo, fam, we men. At the end of the day, we here to work. We here to get something done, accomplish something.
Business.
That's it, man. We're not here to do this other stuff, but when as we grow on, we can be nice to each other, cordial. You get what I'm saying? It's not like we got to be creepy, but understand what's the main focus. So I understood that with Mike. And at the same time, I just like this. all of the people like Will Purdue and these other people that didn't want to put work in sometime and that look like they worked in the post office or librarians, stuff like that, you got to be knocked off. Yo, you were part of a winning championship, but then you're going to try to ride Mike's championship wave and he get mad when he comes back and asks you to work? For real? You serious? Steve Kerr, you got to be kidding me if you thought you was going to say something crazy and not get touched on a little bit.
You get touched on, yeah.
Hey, pause. You know, you got to get a little fun. It's cool. Just understand your place. Understand your level. See, sometimes as a champion, as a winner, you got to show and exert that dominance over people. They might not want to talk about it later and admit the truth. But yeah, you got to show and exert that dominance as a Taurian, as a man, as that alpha male. It has to happen because they need to understand order, and you're the leader. And we win with role players as MJ won.
Right.
You win with role players. So as long as we understand our role, we can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people don't get that. That's why a lot of colleges and a lot of people have trouble because there aren't coaches telling these kids, hey, you need to learn how to be a role player. Yo, you're a shooter, run your joints, do your thing, but mix it up. Run the wing, get out there, get a dunk, I don't know, get some rebounds.
Be the best at your craft.
Right.
Yeah, just be the best at your joint. Don't go outside your body. You know, work on the joints of practice, do that. Mike was trying to tell them that. And look, the last thing too, yo, Michael Jordan, God bless him. Michael Jordan was an NBA pro, right? Champion 3 times before the man said, look, man, I'm tired of killing you NBA pros that get paid millions too. I'm tired of killing you Hall of Famers. I'm going to go through some stuff my dad said I was good at. I'm not good at it, I know. I'm going to go play a whole nother sport.
Let me find me another challenge because this challenge ain't challenging enough.
My dude, I'm playing against grown men, real dudes, Hall of Famers, nice dudes, people that get it in. And it looks so crazy that, yo, I'm tired. I'm tired of the media talking crazy. I'm tired of this. Now, I'm so much important to basketball. Let's see how much you're going to love me when I'm gone.
Yep.
It's me. Pardon my back.
I never really thought about it. I always kind of looked at it like he went through something emotionally with his dad dying. So it kind of just put him kind of like through a crisis mentally. That's how. But that's a good.
I think like I'm not saying that.
I think too much, fam. It was
his dad had something to do with it. But I do think he went through some type of crisis. But I do think that he was a guy it was a challenge for him.
Yeah.
You know, like we watched this. I read the book about his final year, so I kind of knew a lot of the things that was going to come up. But as you watch it, you sit there and you say to yourself, you know what? This dude really was the greatest.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get there at some point. But when you look at just everything, the man was tricking himself to play games.
Yeah.
He heard, like, the joke
and that's
was
so
crazy.
See, like I had to do that too. Like you ever have to do that? Trick yourself. Like, yo, this guy don't feel like I don't want to play. But if you don't play, everybody else look crazy.
Hey, Carl, I remember being in JUCO, and he'll tell you our JUCO didn't get a lot of fans. But every team always brought in a bunch of fans. I would look at the one dude while I was warming up sometimes and say, this motherfucker here look like he gonna really talk shit this game. I'm gonna make sure when this motherfucker get in his car.
Oh, I know you had hecklers. I know you had
really realized. Sometimes
I know you had crazy hecklers.
You know, I literally said it sometimes. Like I'm gonna make this man hate me when he walk out this gym, and I'm just gonna kill him, and I'm gonna look at him every time. And this guy don't even know. He don't know who I am. This man said he got on a plane and said he heard a dude say good game to him that never said nothing to it. Like that documentary was something different, bro. First off, my Sundays ain't been the same since it went off. You know, I can tell you this. Me and my wife binge watch a lot of TV shows. We watch a lot of TV shows. The Last Dance is probably the first show in probably about 2 years that I haven't watched an episode. I watched something live.
Yeah.
Like I was like 9 o'clock. Was like, oh, y'all got to go to bed or y'all got to go in the other room because we watching The Last Dance. It wasn't no watching it. Like we're not playing. Like there's no pausing. Like listen, I told my mom. I said, hey, I know you want to talk, but the Last Dance come on. I'll call you at 11. You know, it's really.
Love?
I had to cry.
Mama Love for MJ.
Mike was it. But what this showed us was that 20-something years away from the game, this man can still shut the world down.
Yeah.
That's what he proved us.
Yeah.
He had everybody in their mama watching. Now, that whole LeBron Jordan thing, a lot of the kids.
We're gonna get there.
I'm not gonna get on it, but I'm not gonna open the can yet. But a lot of kids see LeBron and they're watching his greatness in real time. You know, they're watching it as it's happening. When my 15-year-old son watches Jordan on NBA TV, all you got to press is the info chart. It tell you Mike had 55 tonight. He's playing against here, blah, 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 blah. Everything that Michael Jordan has done, we've talked about it so much so that the kids don't get a wow factor out of it.
Yeah.
When LeBron does something, they get a wow factor because it's happening in this time. Mike gets 63 in the Boston Garden in front of these kids, they would be talking totally different. But because they never seen it, it's a difference. But this documentary, it showed these kids, hey, keep your mouth shut. This is 10 episodes of something that you ain't never seen before. Yeah. They unlocked and moved the curtain. And these kids have to see that and say, you know what? I did know this happened, but now I know why it happened.
Yeah.
You know, and for us,
it added so much context.
Michael Jordan, he was it. You know, growing up, you've seen him do things that was like, I want to try that. Yo, there were nights where it was like, man, and CO, we had some wars back in the day.
Yeah.
It was nights the night before, junior high school, we talk about the junior high school, I would look and be like, man, I got CO coming in the building tomorrow. Mike had 30 tonight. I got to go get 31. Straight up.
Do that too,
I got to get 30. I got to get 31. Oh, Mike wore these sneakers tonight. Yeah. Oh, I'm putting those on tonight. I'm hooping in my patent leathers tonight because Mike got his.
Yeah. Yo, I act like I had them. My head, I had them on in my head. Right, yeah.
But he gave you that killer instinct. He gave it to us. Yeah. Like, we knew that every park that we went into, when we left, we wanted to be the best player in the park.
Right.
We wanted to be that best dude. And Mike, night in and night out, was the best player in the NBA. So for us, anytime we went to the back park, we went in our projects and we went into school, we wanted to be the best. Now to piggyback off you though, Carl, that alpha, you don't win championships and you don't win consistently if you don't have guys that are borderline insane.
Yeah.
Fact.
You cannot win. You cannot win. And you're not gonna be liked by everybody. I'm pretty sure I wasn't liked by every teammate. But the goal was the goal. The goal was never to lose. It was to always fucking win. Again, like I said, we from the X, we don't fail. Right. We figure this shit out. And failing was never an option. And you're not always gonna find everybody that actually see it that way, the way we did. Yeah. But at some point, it's like you're gonna see it that way for 2 hours.
Right.
Or you can't step on this court. I was there. Hey, come on. We're gonna run these laps. We're gonna run this. Yo, you can't be last. I better not beat you. You know what I mean? We doing 25 push-ups if you beat me. You have to bring it out of some people. But granted what you said, like Will Perdue, Bill Winnington, those guys, is like, dude, you winning with me.
Right.
Mike was on some like, dude, you could go and lose with everybody else in the NBA, or you gonna win with me.
Yo,
here's your job.
He resonated with me with that whole thing, and y'all made a lot of great points, and y'all pretty much covered it all. But like what got me was, and I forgot who he was talking about, where he made up the story about somebody that he thought that was talking trash. Was it some dude that played for like the Bullets? My man is MJ.
He didn't say nothing to him.
Mad because he was getting buckets. So the next game on the head
flight
home, where MJ came back and gave him like 60 for no reason.
And he said he's going to give him 30-something at halftime. He's going to have 30-something at halftime. Yo, that's what I used to do, Mo. Like, fam, I would bug out of my head. Like, yo, son, you talking trash?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me, fam? Yeah, I be snapping, yo. With other dudes be scared to death. Like, yo, why you talking? Like, yo, because I know you in your head thinking just because you scored on me,
yeah, because
it's nice.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. No doubt about
you
that.
feel me? Like, that's what MJ was on. MJ was like, I know Shorty was like, yo, he just had 31 on me. I know you like, I just killed MJ. You know he's calling on the phone.
And deep down inside, Youngin went in that locker room.
Yo,
he might not said it to his teammates, but he said that shit. Youngin said that shit. Like, man, I just gave Michael Jordan 31 points. He might have not said it to nobody, but he
didn't
said
say it out loud. But Mike, like you said, Mike knew he was saying it in his head, and that was enough for him.
That's enough, fam. You threatening me. You talking trash. You threaten my career, my joint. How you leave me? You can't have that. You got
Mike seen everything as a legacy killer.
Right.
Everything is like it could be one game. He had a bad game. It's like, okay, I went 5 for fucking 20 last night. I got to get 50 today because I need them to forget about that. Like that was his thing. He was crazy, yo. This just showed me that the dude is really insane.
He is.
Michael Jordan is. He's insane.
Any great person, they got to have some kind of insanity in them. You know what I mean? They got to be.
Absolutely.
You think about everybody that's
like that. It's funny, man.
Anybody that's ever did anything crazy, they talk about how crazy Albert Einstein was. They talk about, and I even hate to do this, but even like the president, he's out of his mind. But somebody's told him that he could be the president. He just became the president because. You know what I mean? So like, I think
he was sitting somewhere one day and said, I think I could be the president.
Right.
And somebody probably said, no, you can't. And he said, I'm going to prove it to you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think that same type
I'm going to keep it all infinity, man. That shit ain't got nothing to do with that. That ain't the same shit. It's the powers that be that's behind it.
That's another conversation.
You know you famous. You're going to be right here. You the puppet. Let's string you along. Say what I want you to say. Chill out. Don't get bumped out or we going to get you out here too. Yo, we ain't going to do that with them. Leave MJ alone away from him.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what I like about this time, though, is like, because we don't have any sports. So the Last Dance really, like, that was clutch for us. We needed that.
This was perfect. This was perfect timing.
What it's doing is propelling the conversation about the GOAT, right? Who's the greatest? Who's in this? So I already know where y'all stand, right? And I'm going to tell you this. To me, it's...
You don't know why. He don't know why, though, Carl. He don't know why yet.
I'm going to tell you. So to me... I already see this as a win for all of us. It's a win for the culture. It's a win for LeBron. It's a win for MJ because we having a conversation about two legacies. The fact that you ask LeBron today, you are being compared to Michael Jordan. That in itself, I'm sure to him, is an accomplishment. He wears number 23 because of MJ. You know what I'm saying? When you talk to Mike don't even compare himself to him because he respects the fact that they played in different eras. So he don't talk about it. So it's a win to me. But to me, if we're going to talk about it, I'm saying LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. Here's why. I'm going to make a quick point. MJ was probably the greatest scorer we've ever seen. The greatest scorer. Just think of raw talent, ability, score. Name something else that he's better than LeBron at.
He dominated.
LeBron dominates games.
No.
In multiple ways.
Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. Carl, I'm hoping you're going to back me up on this.
I set the table. Y'all go ahead.
Hear me out now. Michael Jordan dominated. Carl said it first. He said he played 3 years, said, I want to play baseball. Came back. Michael Jordan, for 6 years, said nobody will win shit. Hear me out now, CO. Hear me out. Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Dominique Wilkins, Isaiah, and those guys in the Eastern Conference. He dominated them, and he went to the finals. Year one, he plays against Magic and James Worthy, who are Hall of Famers in their prime. Right? Now let's piggyback. Let me go back just for a second. Ewing, Isaiah, Joe Dumars, Reggie, all of them are Hall of Famers. So he beat all the Hall of Famers in the East to get to the finals. Now he's in the finals. He got Magic and Worthy and that dynasty who won a bunch of championships. He stops them. Y'all ain't getting no more. Year two, Clyde Drexler's supposed to be the best player. Portland has been a top team. I'm the best 2 guard in the league, and you're a Hall of Famer. I'm better than you. I'm going to beat you.
Which, by the way, he had a problem with Clyde Drexler just because other people thought that he was a good shooter. Crazy to me.
Because they both jump. They both jump out the building, so they try to use that comparison and always pick Jordan off.
The next year, he plays Charles Barkley, who's MVP in the league. Danny Ainge, who's a Hall of Famer as well. Charles, a Hall of Famer. Danny Manning's on that team. Kevin Johnson, a bunch of Hall of Famers. Y'all ain't getting no ring. Then he leaves. Then he comes back. He beats Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. If Sean Kemp don't start messing with the drugs, he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton's a Hall of Famer. He beat them. And then up until that point, Karl Malone and John Stockton were the best 2-man team. And at that point in the world, they were the best 2-man tandem ever. At that point. Now we've got other ones now, but at that point, and you talking about 97, 98, they were the best. He beat them. He stopped every Hall of Famer for 6 years from getting rings. Now, LeBron has dominated the Eastern Conference. He's definitely ran through the Eastern Conference. But he's not stopping Hall of Famers from getting rings.
Bro,
Dirk Nowitzki, and Jason Kidd won rings.
MJ has never faced a Golden State Warriors.
Hold on one second, though. I'm gonna give ACO. Let me finish my point. I'm gonna give you the floor back.
Golden State.
Hey, just let me finish my statement. I'm gonna give you the floor back.
What?
Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd, they beat LeBron and Hall of Famers. They get rings. KD got 2 rings off of them. Clay, Curry gonna be Hall of Famers. I don't think Draymond will be, but Clay and Curry are Hall of Famers. They got rings off of them. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker got rings off of them. And granted, this documentary proves to the world Mike had to deal with whatever was on that roster. Jerry Krause showed us he was not going to spend $1 on nobody, and Mike had to get it how he get it. LeBron James has been able to go wherever he wants to go. And literally, they have broken the team down to fit him, to help him win. They did it. He couldn't win he couldn't beat
I'm with you.
He couldn't beat the big 3 and all the other stuff in Boston. He ends up going to Miami. He wins his championships in Miami, but they broke that whole team up. Michael Beasley was 2 years in the league. He was leading the country damn near in scoring in college. They get rid of him. They get rid of all these guys to create this team for him. They do the same thing again when he goes back to Cleveland. They get rid of Wiggins, who was the #1 pick in the draft because they want Kevin Love. They've created these teams. Hey, I'm a Laker fan. I love the Lakers. They traded. LeBron literally realized he couldn't win last year with the young guys, and they got rid of the whole team for him. If they literally said, "Hey, fuck Bill Cartwright, go get Patrick Ewing," Mike would have 10 more rings. They never did that for Mike. And now, granted, still, let me tell you something. LeBron James is an amazing fucking player. He is really, really fucking good. He has had dominating moments. He has definitely dominated the Eastern Conference. But if we're talking about the greatest of all time, we're talking about dominating. When you look at Carl in your hood and my hood and your hood, when we talk about the best player ever in our hood, we ain't talking about just skills. We talking about the motherfucker that when he stepped in the park, nobody was winning shit. He was dominating. And that's what Michael Jordan has done. He's dominated the shit out of the game. You're right. He didn't see a Golden State Warriors team. But he's seen a Lakers team that won a bunch of championships early, and then they came. But he had his team. LeBron had his team put together. Now, listen.
Everybody's better.
They dismiss Kobe. They dismiss Kobe Bryant all the time, right? From this number 1, 2, 3 conversation. But I got a question for you. Kobe Bryant's last 2 rings, LeBron was supposed to meet him in the finals. He lost to Orlando, who had Dwight Howard, Turkoglu, and Rashard Lewis. Kobe beat him. He lost to the big 3 and Paul Pierce and them. Kobe lost to him too, but he beat him. How do we just dismiss Kobe from this conversation when he beat? I'm not saying Kobe's no. I'm not saying. I'm just saying if there's any question of LeBron and somebody else, then Mike automatically wins. Mike left the game. If they keep that same Chicago Bulls team together that next year, Tim Duncan and them don't win in the lockout.
Yo, Carl,
Mike and them would have just kept winning rings.
You picking LeBron?
I'm picking LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking LeBron as my worst superstar ever. Okay, hell yeah. You right. No turn.
I think it's the dumb. I think it's
keep it infinity. Like my man Al said, he's the most dominant player of our era that we have ever watched play the game. The way he played the game, the things he brought, the things he added to people's games, the way he practiced, the way he approached the game, the way he used to make fun of people in his head and do different things to come out. He's playing against Hall of Famers, like El said. Yo, there's nobody on that team, fam, that on that Curry and them team is better than King Olajuwon. He was killing Houston. He's killing everybody. There's nobody, no big on that team better than none of them dudes. These guys are like different Hall of Famers. Like Clyde Drexler, he's jumping from the foul line in games for real. He's doing different stuff. You know, like there's nobody on that Golden State Warriors team that can last in that era when you get your teeth and face knocked out. When you really got to get punched in the face and you can't really talk no more. That dude's coming in your locker room and really set it on you for real. Curry going to set it on who? Who Curry going to punch in the face? He's going to get punched in the face a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, Mike toughened up Reggie. Mike toughened Reggie. He had to toughen up.
And John Paxson would have went in there and smacked Curry in their face. Like, you had Dennis Rodman bugging out. I'm just saying, we can't dismiss these guys. We got the way to Tony Kukoc. We got different stuff going on. So Mike had these guys. Curry and them had the nice guys for this era. That's cool. That's just totally different. When we go to Mike, Mike, like I said, man, when you look at these Hall of Famers getting paid millions of dollars, and they're working on their games too. They're working on game plan after game plan with their coach, coming up with ways trying to stop this. You understand what I'm saying? Michael Jordan didn't look at the ground when he dribbled because he knew he had to drop down to Pitt and these guys cutting. And find John Paxson waiting at one of the left or the right wings for that open jumper or Tony Kukoc on the top or, Horace Grant or somebody down low. You know what I mean? It's just a different type of mindset. LeBron still, after 15 years, goes like this before he pulls up, goes like this before he throws a no-look pass. How you still looking in the no? It's crazy. But he does a lot of weird stuff. He turns the ball over too much. Like he's not as efficient as Michael Jordan.
Had more turnovers in his career.
No, you gotta check it out. He didn't have more.
Hey, bro. Hey, I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm not gonna jump over Carl.
Let me finish, Al. I got it real quick.
Go ahead.
When you don't what you call him too. When like MJ, when we our era, we didn't care how many times we shot the ball as long as we won. You get what I'm saying? So that was a different type of mindset. We don't care if we going 15 for 35 or whatever, as long as we got the dub. Maybe I might have went 3 for 16, but that third shot I made the bucket for the game winner. I'm not gonna pass it to Barajal under the basket. No, if he ain't doing that at crunch time, he's a better closer. He's getting buckets. You know he's giving it to? The for sure bucket, a better decision maker. He gives it to Steve Kerr, John Paxson, the guys that's making the money shots and money time. But you know why he gave it to them? Because he had them prepared and ready.
For that moment. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He doesn't have his players prepared and ready. Because he's not really prepared and ready all the time. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you're able to make these different jumps and moves. Now, let's get it understood. The man is freakishly athletic. The dude is super strong. I played against the dude out there in Vegas in the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? For the USA team. Like, the dude ran past me one time. I could feel a win. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was like, damn. It was like a commercial. I was like, oh, that was a person. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, the dude caught an alley-oop when Jason Kidd threw it up the joint. I'm running out for defense, not giving up. I'm playing with a torn groin, too. You ain't jumping nowhere like that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Now, no disrespect. The dude is super freakish athletic. I signed the kid's autograph when he was a kid coming to the NBA. When he asked my joint, the Peterson Event Center, he's like, Carl Krauser. Tony Morocco brought him over. That's all up. I signed
That's tough. That's super tough.
Ohio. This is it's in their region. It's right there, Ohio, Pittsburgh. You feel me? So in the Peterson, they was coming for their high school, joining like the Jordan Classic and all that. Huh?
That's tough.
You the biggest thing over there.
That's always love. Yeah, he loved me. He loved that. So when I played against the USA team, I had that thought about MJ and him because it's Carmelo Anthony sitting here and LeBron sitting here, and we talking, and it's like, yo, you know that MJ joke came up. Different jokes came up because Melo and him are friends, so you know different jokes. So and Melo's sponsored by MJ. You know what I'm saying? So that whole joint was funny. And it's like, yo, you understand that people understand, like that actual person, he knows he's not better than Jordan. You get what I'm saying? No. So it's kind of crazy that other people will make this chaotic joint and keep going with it when the man knows himself he's not better than Mike. Like, Mike has too many moves. He doesn't have as many moves as Mike. I think Mike works on different.
But a lot of these people, though, Carl, they're going off numbers.
And like the numbers, oh man, look.
You got to throw the numbers out the door because all these guys got all NBAs and all this and all that. You got to throw the numbers away and say what else? Fuck the points, fuck the all-star appearances. What are the numbers? 6-0.
This is a goddamn number.
Listen, let me tell you this. So when I'm looking at a basketball player, right? And when you put a basketball player out on the floor, you want to find somebody that's going to impact the game in different ways, right? So you want somebody that's going to impact the game on the boards. You want somebody that can impact the game by getting a defensive stance, keeping people out of driving lanes. You want somebody that can hit outside jump shots. Oh, I need this dude to facilitate the offense when I need to. I just think he's a more overall well-rounded basketball player than MJ. What makes
you think he's a better defender than on-ball, better defender too than MJ?
I think so. Only because he could guard multiple positions. MJ was guarding guard. That's it. LeBron, listen.
I'm laughing at y'all.
Yo, MJ was, listen, LeBron guards forwards. LeBron guards posts. He guards your best guard if he needs to. And he's doing all that right.
MJ did too.
MJ guarded guards. That was it. And
he guarded the post too. What are you talking about? Time out. Yo, how you gonna watch The Last Dance and then see him guard the guard? I mean, big man.
Black. Are the guards are the guards as good as they were today as they were back then? They are better today.
Wait. The guards back then were better now. They knew how to score. They knew how to win. No. These guards, you telling me there was a guard this ever better than Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf?
As good as I'm talking in the NBA, like in that legacy, right? But like if you're talking John Stockton, as much as I respect John Stockton, as much as the career he had, John Stockton couldn't compete with these guards today. These guards are different, bro.
Who? Wait,
the game, but bro, I don't know if I agree with that because I don't know if I agree with that because the game is pick and roll very, very well.
Thank you.
Now. And he was probably one of the greatest pick and roll players to ever play the game.
John Stockton.
Now, can John Stockton guard them on? Can he
play on the other end?
Hey, but half the guys.
He's crafty. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you in foul trouble. He's gonna bait you into getting that. Facts.
I'm not taking Chris Paul over Isaiah Thomas.
You're not taking Chris Paul?
I'm not taking Chris Paul over Isaiah Thomas.
Wow.
Hell no. What?
Well, that's your favorite player. That's your favorite player. So you think I don't know that? I know that already.
Nah. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it real with you on your joint. No,
yeah.
He's so not. I was never
sorry
like people say. Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like him. I like him as a player, but he's not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just telling you. I just said that because I wore number 11. I was trying to get to the league, and it was the whole movie. You know how you got to Why would I like a dude that like the trannies? There's no way. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I like people. I like straight up people. I like people, yo. So like I like guys like, you know, my guys, Magic Johnson is my dude, Anthony Hardaway. Michael Jordan is number 1. You know what I mean? But like I love Oscar Robertson. Nobody talks about the guy that averaged a triple-double. He guarded Magic.
Hey, nobody talks about Kareem.
Magic Johnson. He guarded the center.
Yeah.
He plays center, right? Magic Johnson played center and won the championship.
I'm trying to figure out why Kareem is never in anybody's conversation the greatest of all time. He leads the NBA all time in scoring. He won 4 city and state championships in high school. That still has never been done. Yeah, he went to college.
No, he spent half his career going up against 6'6" centers.
But
go back and look at games or statistics where he had to play up against Moses Malone. He got cooked every single time.
But CO,
Think about it. He wasn't playing against anybody.
Hey, bro, he's got 4 city.
You violated the cap, yo. You violated the cap.
Yo, no disrespect. No disrespect to him.
He's won at every level.
Yo,
he's got 3 college national championships. He's got 6 rings in the league, and he's got 4. He shut New York down.
Tell me your top 5. Your top 5 greatest NBA basketball players right now.
Oh shit! Oh damn.
Carl, you got to go first. You got to go first. It started with you. It got to end with you. Got to go first.
I got.
Nah, you the host. You got to go first.
Yeah.
You the host. You got to go first.
All right, I'll go first. All right, so I got LeBron. LeBron's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Mike number 2, of course. Magic 3. I'm going Shaq 4, not Kareem. I'm going Shaq. We talk about dominance. And I'm going Hakeem, my 5th. The greatest skilled forward or greatest skilled center I've ever seen in my life.
And you said dominance, and you ain't said nothing about Will Chamberlain.
Nah, because that's a different era.
See, he said dominance, but he got Mike first over LeBron, and Mike dominated.
I'm just saying, way more. And then Laffer came back way more. You can't do that. That's illegal. It's like violating the history of the sport. Yo, listen, like I think this is like the most disrespectful thing, dude, because the man really stopped playing the game that he loved, that he gets paid for. This is he reached his goal. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
All he wanted was to be there, and he didn't want to be there no more. How the hell do you get the double dutch and come in and out the thing and then do what you want and then go win 3 more?
A dude do that now, you know what they say? He on steroids. He on drugs. He doing something. Enhancements. They would have been said it.
Now, see, you know LeBron can't do that. He
Oh, you gotta give me your 5.
A professional sport and then do that, man. Like,
you gotta give me your 5.
I have Mike Galoff, his Anderson. Get the 1. Some flower. I have. I got Will Chamberlain. I got Will Chamberlain too. Man, yo, gotta have the big O in there, man. I subscribe. I got the big O in there. I have to put Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah. Oh man, that's young. Man.
He's struggling.
It's bullshit because I love my Anthony Hardaway, and this is pushing me off. But at the same time, I love. Goddamn it, I love my Charles Barkley. It's my favorite power forward of all time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna
got MJ, Will, Oscar, Hakeem, and Chuck.
Facts.
All right.
Mine is
for the world. I'm putting this out there. Carl Krauser top 5. Carl Krauser top 5. Here it is right here.
And you gotta let the world know that he really ain't an Isaiah Thomas fan.
Yeah, that's a curve. I met Isaiah Thomas. The ball rolled over to him at the Knicks workout. That shit was fluke. Fuck that. Yo, that was the worst shit I ever fucking did, man. That was the wackest, man. Playing against Tony Parker, brother, all that hours for nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing. I missed 2 shots. I called the agent after we talked. They talking about rap was fabulous and his brother rapping, Tony Parker doing a rap song. What you talking about, bro? I'm just crashing your ass. This is crazy for my chicken, for my life. And the God, yo, I mean, we in Westchester somewhere, Westchester County. Yo, fam, you know how crazy I felt, fam? It felt like a setup workout. And then right after I said the joint that I didn't want to play for New York, but hold on, let's get to the ball. The ball rolls off after we finish shooting. We finish the workout. The ball rolls over like commercials. Rolling over. Yo, you see your man, it's over that, man. I love his story about how he went to go help his brother out from having drugs. He went to go find his brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love him. You know what I mean? Because he went to go get his brother off or whatever. So my mom was on drugs at the time. So I wanted to do that for my mom and go blah, 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 and help my brother improve. So that's what I loved about him. He was a family person. He helped his family. So salute to him for that. But outside of that, no, because I know he was a champion. I love how he killed the Lakers with that hurt ankle. I was watching that as a kid. He killed what I mean? Swollen ankle down to LA, bombs away, crazy, nonstop, always hard. But yo, it's bigger than basketball to why I like people. It's more than basketball, so you got to be a good person off the court too. And I felt like some of these people, until you got to know them, were good people, and then they got shaky, but that's different. So like when the ball rolled over, I'm like, yo, I'm getting to meet the man that, you know, wore number 11 like me. He's a champion, hard worker, and I'm looking at the ball. He steps on the ball, and he looks at me. He's like, so I'm like this, like a kid and shit, like that and shit, right? I'm like, how you doing, Mr.
That's
Thomas?
crazy.
He's like, how you doing? I'm like, that's it.
That was it? Wow.
What the fuck was it? I'm like, yo, after all of this shit you hear and me playing the dog, you hear it on the TV, they keep pumping me during the joint. He wants to meet Isaiah Thomas. He wants to get an autograph. I didn't want an autograph. I want an autograph. God damn, I'll take an autograph, but that's it. Like, fam, you knew about me, but I learned he didn't like New York City guards after the step from Marbury stuff. He had a stigma with Chicago and New York, so they always battle. He didn't like New York City guards at all. Like, so I was like, what the fuck, man? That's
crazy.
Shit, Alvin, man. The stigma we get. So I had to write a joint how I'm different from New York City point guards down in Portsmouth, Virginia, NBA camp. So people don't understand, like that all went into that New York big workout. That all goes into how some people are as people and holding these jealous, envious thoughts. And so the younger people coming up have to pay for it. And
Well, that's crazy. I appreciate that story too, man.
That's crazy, man. Wow. I never knew that, man. And that's it. Just goes to also show you the business side of things and the political side of things. How people they'll put their feelings before the business side. It shouldn't have mattered where you was from. If you was the right guard to be drafted, you should have been drafted. That shit doesn't have anything to do with my personal feelings. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to. You don't have to go home with a person. Y'all gonna see each other when y'all gotta make y'all money together, and that's it. And as a general manager, you really don't have to see a player because you don't have to come to practice. You don't need to be around. So and when he was the coach, it's like, hey, winning is all that matters. If Carl Krauser is going to help us win more games and put us in the playoffs, then that's the guy we sign. Right. And that's but that's also probably the reason why he didn't succeed at his business.
And that's also why he has a bad name in the NBA. Like when you think about MJ and the whole USA, the Dream Team.
It just goes to show all of his decisions was personal. Yeah. Everything he's done, even the MJ shit. And then your situation.
The whole thing of walking off the court, that whole stuff, like
people probably see him now as just an emotional person. Like he's gonna make decisions based off his emotions and not off of the best decision for the situation. And that's not good business on any level.
My agent said that. He was like, yo, when you watch him, we had dinner with him, and he's Larry Brown's stepbrother with my agent, with my old agent, and that was bad how he did it, whatever. He was like, yo, I wouldn't turn my back on Isaiah Thomas at a dinner table. He might stab me in the back with a knife or a fork or a butter knife.
Jesus Christ.
God damn, he gonna still trying to get the cutting with the butter. Like, I was like, damn, he got to show him, just to show you what another person thinks. So that's what part of the reason why, too, I didn't come out my junior year to go to Detroit Pistons after Joe Dumas wanted me to come out. And he called my phone, and I was on my way to meet Rod Strickland down at the Harlem Grill in Harlem. And me and my man J-Bo was in the truck, and he's like, yo, come out of school. I got everything, and more stuff to it. But I got y'all on my joint, man. Please, everybody, check out my YouTube channel called Krauser. Respect my journey, man. I'm showing love to everybody, like my man L. I'm gonna send a link, and thank you very much for having me on, man. And I'm gonna
give you my top 5
before we go.
My top five is Mike is 1 for sure. I got Kareem at 2. I got Kobe 3, Magic 4.
This is nasty.
And I got the Big O at 5.
Yo, y'all tripping.
And I got Shaq at 6.
Yo, what does LeBron hate?
Yo, that's a bonus, bro. We need a bonus hate.
Hey, I watch
LeBron hate. Good.
I watch LeBron. I love watching LeBron, but it comes back to dominating and him not beating Orlando and Kobe did it, and him not beating the Big 3 and Kobe did it, and then he had to run to Miami. It just you can't jump in front of that man. You can't jump in front of that man. You know,
Dwayne, I need you. I'm in Wade, where you at? Yo, I'm in Wade County. What you doing? I got chips to
Yo, did y'all see the team he had before that year though? I'm pretty sure he took Dora and the Explorers to the NBA championship. Like
he did, but let's don't make it seem like
best player was Virgil. Come on, Carl.
Kobe had Kwame Brown.
Booby Gibson was hitting those shots.
Nah,
don't get another shot. Look at Booby.
Come on.
He had Mo Williams.
The best three-point shooter.
But then if that's the case, CO, you get guys to come play with you. You don't go play with somebody. You get guys to come play with you.
Thank you. It's your house. It's your city. It's Cleveland. How you gonna leave?
How you go? Dennis Rodman beat on Jordan and then winning with him. Jordan didn't go to Detroit.
My last comment, he also had one of the best coaching systems in the NBA history.
Wait a minute. MJ?
LeBron also fires all of his coaches.
What's that?
Yo,
LeBron also fires all of his
too. Yeah, he bumps them too. He thugs them. He bumps them in the show, and you got to move out the way. Get fired. You're not.
Everybody fired.
Yo,
Mike Brown. Hey, he fired David Blatt when they was the #1 team in the Eastern Conference for Ty Lue.
He scared the hell out that man.
That man went back to Europe.
He's actually a good coach.
Yo, facts, yo.
They say he's the greatest coach in Europe.
Yeah, it's different. I know that.
Nah, it's love. It's all love. Cause I'm gonna tell you for real, I love LeBron, man. I do, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he needs to stop pump faking in that damn gym and get in the gym and work on your player development skills so you can show these kids and show these people how you really can become the best. Because towards the last bit of the season, he actually start being more aggressive in that post and start thugging like you want to see. Because you too big, champ. You Dwight Howard, you're too big not to be just like foul and then finish on foul.
He's definitely the best physical ability we've ever seen.
Athletically ridiculous, but he can't even. But I'm saying he's stiff. He doesn't work on the stretching. You can see he's still stiff. He doesn't work on a lot of stuff, and he needs to become more flexible. He needs to sit down low and play defense for a long time. He needs to sustain that level. He needs to go ahead and learn how to really play on-ball defense, how to talk more, how to communicate more. Stop pointing at people and be a better teammate when something isn't going down and this is Mac, because they see that. They know they messed up, so they don't need you to belittle them and make faces and do stuff like this. They already get it. It's about being a better teammate, too. So, and also, one more thing, man. You got to learn how to play without the ball, bro. You got to play without the ball. Look, dog, set screens. Get open. Screens get open. You heard the rule from the coaches. They told you that. Screens get open. You got to do this shit. This shit is real because you got to show the people it's more mental. Mike showed you it was more mental than it was physical, but he showed you I'm in the gym to do the physical, but I'm in the gym to work on the move, shot communication too. Repetitively. I watched Kobe Bryant at this game, when we played against them in Vegas. I watched Kobe Bryant show me why he's such like Mike. Because Mike, before a game one time, they showed Mike working on 5 moves, different places, and had to make over 8, 10 shots in a row before he moved. This is at halftime. Kobe did the same damn thing. Focus, but he made all 10. I said, God damn, he's going to do this shit on us. I'm sitting there because I'm playing with the Virgin Islands team. These dudes, they work at Radio Shack all year. These dudes don't play no ball. You feel me? I'm playing with dudes that don't play ball at all. For real. I had 2 basketball players on my team, 3 basketball players for real. I play basketball sometimes. So you understand who I was out there with a ripped groin. My groin is ripped. I'm playing with bandages and everything anyway. So I'm watching Kobe just standing there watching. I'm like, he is not playing. I'm talking about he's going hard in the workout because he was in foul trouble earlier. He made 10 shots from 6 spots in a row. Bang, bang, bang.
Jesus.
Back out third quarter and shot the same shots from the same spot on us and made the fucking. I said, damn. While LeBron is still running around and shit, doing his little alley-oop shit with the kids, all that, this man is making a point on his birthday to show people, look, at halftime, I'm going to show you I'm skilled and disciplined. I'm going to do this workout right now. It's still my birthday. I'm not taking any of my birthday's fluke. I'm still going to play hard, and I'm still going to come out here and do my due diligence because these people need to leave with the mindset that I am the best. I am Kobe Bryant. Thank you for doing this, but hey, I'm going to show you why I'm a killer. And I looked at him and was like, you just separated my heart from my body real quick. This dude's a shit. I'm looking at him, damn.
Yeah.
You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
Yeah, it's little stuff like that, man, that makes players great, man. It makes them who they are. People don't realize that. You know what I mean? They don't. They still
Garnett did it too.
And stories like that. This is why we're in such a privileged position to hear you talk stories like that, because people don't know these things. You know what I'm saying? They just see what Kobe did in Game 7 of this game, or what he did in this game.
Yeah.
You don't realize where it starts. You know, when you talk about the mentality that it takes for you to have the discipline to say, I'm going to work on these things in this game when it don't matter, when nobody's looking, it don't even matter. So that's crazy. I've been blessed. I think we all been blessed to really get these kind of stories, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I'm gonna wrap the video. I'm gonna wrap the video. Give me y'all last comments. Tell me, like, what y'all want to promote, what you want to talk about, anything that you want. The floor is yours.
Yeah, F.
I mean, yo, I enjoyed this, man. We all got to do this outside of just being filmed, even just, you know, just this. I mean, because it's so much knowledge that we have from our personal experiences, as far as some of us was having some of the same experiences, to actually be in a position where it's like, okay, we need to educate these kids. Like everything that you said, Carl, is about the game, about players actually learning how to play the game the right way. And this is the biggest problem to me that we have in our game right now, is that everybody's a trainer. Everybody's a trainer who's never trained anybody. Everybody's a trainer who that didn't play anywhere. Right. You know, or you know, some of these guys are just, they read a book about how to play basketball. You know, we as you know, guys that pioneer in certain instances in this game have to educate these kids so that they can succeed and not fail, because right now that's what's happening in our game. We talked about the one and done stuff earlier. We got a lot of kids that think they pros and can't go left. Yeah. You know, they see Curry stopping on the 3 and shooting, but they don't have a mid-range jump shot. Right. You know what I mean? That was one of the things, you know. I remember coming out, you know, after college, and it was like, okay, now I'm going overseas, and it's like, I can't miss a mid-range shot. In workouts, like you just said, 10 for 10, you got to go 10 for 10 in mid-range, because when you come off that ball screen, if you can't make a shot, here's your ticket. It was nice to have you. You got to go home. That's the fact. You realize it's a business at that point. And I think that a lot of these kids think that they don't understand that you won't work out away from blowing up, but you won't work out away from going down. Yeah. More kids are playing basketball now than ever. And this social media thing that's going on now is a platform for everybody. It's for everybody now. Yo, we didn't have this growing up. No. We didn't have YouTube and this and that. We didn't have that. No. We was killing and it was happening, but it was different. Like you said earlier, and it made me laugh. You said, yo, we had the videotape. You had to put the videotape in to watch Michael Jordan. Yeah, these kids going on an app now. You know, the game has changed. So we gotta educate. I think as pioneers in the game, we gotta educate these kids to really understand what it means to be great. Because that word is thrown around so fucking much that it's just disgusting. Oh, he's great. He's great. Hey, coach, I got a kid for you. He's great. Yo, Carl, I want you to work this kid out. He's going to be great. And it's like, whoa, it's too early for that. Like, he can't go left, but he's going to be great. Right. He got to jump out the gym so he can pro. It's like they're just not educated. And that's why we got so many kids that, it's sad to say, they failing, because a lot of the kids got the D1 or bust mentality. And I got to make it out the hood, and no one's educating them on all their options. So when they fail, now they in the street. Now they getting dead end jobs. They don't have no education, and it's just because they just listening to the wrong people. Yep. So you know, for this, you know, we definitely, this can't be the first time. This can't be the last time we connect like this. Like, we got to really 100%. Connect. Like, Carl, I got to get with you and see your kids, and we got to get out, and I got to get you to come down. You can stay with me, bro, and come sit and talk to my players. You know what I mean? In the preseason about what it is. Work, everything, because they need to hear it from someone who actually, like, dude, Google, you know, I bust my players ass time. Like, yo, you better Google me. Like, motherfucker, like, you know what I mean? Like, these kids, they got it all fucked up, but they don't understand that.
No, like, we're cut off. Oh.
He cut off?
I think his joint cut off. Hopefully we get them back in, but these kids don't understand how important